Well, we are so glad you've taken the time to watch this YouTube video, or if you're here with us live for the very first time. We know that you've maybe seen some things about our body balance and drops on social media. You may already be using the body balance and drops. And what we're going to show you today is a way that you can get these drops at a significant discount. We're going to show you a way you can have them for free, and we're going to show you a way that you can create an extra income. And we have a special guest this morning, a former owner of a hospice care company in Mississippi. Michele, I believe you started your journey with us as a customer only of the drops and maybe one of the other products that our company offers. You want to share that with us?
Absolutely. I had debilitating brain fog, and I started on another product called Renew, and I didn't want anything to do with another business. So I was a wholesale product user for over a year. I sure was.
So with those, so the Renew is a product that a lot of, especially women and men, utilize with our body balance and drops. It's a natural approach to raising human growth hormone through four pathways, of which we have two patents on. And what happened with you with your brain fog and everything? Well, by the way, we make no medical claims, like we're not correlating this with the product at all. But when you do make lifestyle changes on what you're consuming, you can make differences in your body. We are a byproduct of what we eat every day. So what kind of occurred with you? Where were you at, and what happened on the drops?
Well, absolutely, Todd. Thank you so much for having me. And I was 59 and I had been dealing with brain fog for over 14 years. And why that is so significant is that my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 55 and died at 62. And some of my symptoms that I was experiencing, I could remember as I walked that journey with her. But the most intense symptom that occurred is I am driving down the road at 59, and I all of a sudden did not know where I was going. And I panicked. And I remembered that this same exact thing happened with my mom over 20 something years ago. So I contacted Cynthia Bolden, who was amazing power partner, prayer partner, and I knew she was a nutritionist, herbalist, and she recommended Renew for me. And so I just got a five-pack trial pack. And within 3 days, the brain fog was gone. And I don't know if it's because I was sleeping better or what, but the brain fog was gone. And that got my attention, even though 14 years before, I had been put on Wellbutrin, thyroid medication, and then I also progressed to hormone replacement therapy. All of those worked for a period of time, but you guys, the brain fog came back. And I mean, with a vengeance. So I was scared and panicked. And so even though in 3 days with the brain fog being gone, I truly did not trust that it was really gone. And so after I had been on Renew for probably 6 months, brain fog never came back with Renew. But I noticed I'm a competitive tennis player and I'm concerned about my fitness. And I'm noticing even at 60 by this time that my muscle mass I'm getting fitter. And I haven't been able to do that in years. And people are noticing. I go to tennis and people are going, I'm going to need your arm workout. So even if you look at my pictures down here, look at my arms, how they started looking more defined. You know, didn't have a whole lot of weight to lose, but everything started looking more defined. The flab was going away. So once we started with the drops, and I was truly offended when Cynthia said, hey, let's now, you've done great on Renew. Let's start on the drops. We started on the drops because I wanted to get off my hormone replacement therapy. That was the goal. So once I got on the drops is when I started taking off the extra flab that I needed. And the brain fog was gone for good, Todd. I have not had brain fog in over 2.5 years.
And so you were a customer only, like a lot of people watching this video, for quite some time. You had been a business owner most of your life. You owned a hospice care center. There's your pictures of back in your younger days when you started that and opened it up, and your philosophy there at the hospice center. But you now are doing this completely full time. What happened?
Well, I was in a meeting with you in January. So this is a year after I've started the products, and I'm in my very first PartnerCo meeting. I'm kind of looking at possibly Sharon, because I'm getting such great results and people are asking me. So I go to a meeting and I start adding, I've already added some family members, friends into the business, but I decided to share it with some of my folks who had been in another company with me. And when I shared it with one person, that caused everything to explode. But Sheila Bukowski and I were in a meeting with you in January of 2024, exactly a year after I started the products. And I heard you say, the latest research on Alzheimer's shows that insulin resistance in the brain, or they've called it type 3 diabetes, is the leading cause of Alzheimer's. And I don't know if you remember, Todd, but I was a basket case. I started crying. And I still can barely talk about it without crying. Tears were rolling down my face because I realized I couldn't help my mom 29 years ago. But this is a way that I can help other people. And so lo and behold, Todd asked me to get up and speak in front of 300 people after I'm bawling because yeah, I'm feeling like, okay, why didn't we know this 29 years ago? I could have done something for my mom. But since we didn't, at her bedside, I shared that day at that meeting, at her bedside, my hospice was born. Okay. I started that hospice because of what I learned of how hospice was such a service to my mother. And I told her, Mom, we're going to find a cure for Alzheimer's before I take my last breath. But I looked at that crowd of 300 and I said, but if what he said was true, we're going to do better. We're going to prevent it. And we're going to get these drops in the hands of billions. So that's what changed.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to show, by the way, you've also now been, as you're seeing there on the pictures, you've won like 5 vacations with the company, as everybody watching this can also do. I don't know if that's Bali or Dominican Republic. I know you've been all over the world this year with the company.
Yeah, that's Bali.
So I do have to give one last disclaimer. Our company nor our product make any claims that we're going to fix anything. The research, not by our company or me, is out there for everybody to do their own research. If you go start playing around with type 3 diabetes, insulin resistance to the brain, you'll see what a lot of the top research scientists in the world are saying in that department. And when you eat from a low glycemic food index, which comes in our direction booklet, and you begin to stabilize blood sugar, you can kind of stabilize that insulin insensitivity there. All that research is out there, has nothing to do with our products. But if you are here and you're being a customer, Michele, I don't know a single woman on planet Earth that doesn't want to save money. As a matter of fact, I think every wife spends money daily to save their husbands on a sale to save their husband's money. That's just kind of the way the world works. So what we're going to show them is how to save money on the drops today.
Yep.
Okay, so just so you can see the picture of it all, PartnerCo is who makes the products. We operate globally. So the difference in being a customer and buying this product retail is that you buy your own global virtual nutrition store. You don't buy it from Michele anymore or whoever sent you this video. You're going to buy it from yourself at a 30% discount. And then we have bulk buying where you can get really big discounts. And then we have systems that we've created that we give to you for free. And if you do want to use some social media and post a little bit, you're going to sell enough to get them for free. And Michele, in your case, you sold enough to shut down a hospice center and go full time and start winning free vacations.
That's right. Well, I'd actually already closed, I had already sold my hospice. So that's part of my story, Todd. So 12 years ago, I sold my hospice and God blessed tremendously. So that's part of why I was not looking for another business. I'm retired. I was retired, but these products, I saw how they changed my life, and a 59-year-old woman that could get her 6-pack abs back and get amazing cellular nutrition in my body and know that I could help change people's lives that have a fear of Alzheimer's. So these drops are about so much more than just weight loss. And so I just wanted to make an impact. I truly did. I wanted to make an impact.
Yeah, a lot of the women out there call them happy drops. I would say about 40% of our customer base take them because of the way it makes them feel, way more so than just the weight loss. But these are some people that lives now you've begun to touch and change. So I know Michelle is up in somewhere around Calgary in Alberta, Canada.
Alberta. Yep.
And you got her. I think she signed up with you via Zoom, but I think I heard her say in Canada that she has like 1,000+ people in her organization now.
Yes, yes. So she's doing amazing. Their team is growing, and it's just it is just life changing to see that so many lives are changing all around the world. And so thrilled.
And Haley Lee there in Nashville, Tennessee, she has just become an absolute rock star in her company.
Yes. Yes. And so Sheila was one of the first folks that I added onto my team that had been in a previous company with me. Haley actually saw a messenger note on my messenger that said drops or shots, which do you prefer? And Haley said, told Sheila, call Michele. So that's my team, that we were all in another company together, but we were not on the same team. And so they've just brought in, I think Haley probably has over 5 or 6,000 on her team now or more.
And Kimberly's a school teacher, or was. She just went full time with us up in Michigan that joined you.
Absolutely. And so Kimberly was also in my other company. And so Kimberly's brought, I'm not sure how many Kimberly have on her team, but she's growing and exploding as well. And so we just want to impact lives, you guys. And it's just all about impact.
Yeah, and the drops just work. You'll see all the before and after pictures. Most of you watching this video have already been trying the drops or thinking about it. So you do have to follow the instructions. We make no bones about it. The drops are designed to get things in balance in your body. And then the approved food list is designed to keep your insulin from spiking. So if you'll eat from that approved food list 100%, don't put any liquid sugar in your body. Put those drops underneath your tongue 3 times a day. The results are going to be phenomenal, just as you see in the pictures here as we're going through it. There is an additional product we just launched. By the way, if you don't mind, since you did bring up Renew, we'll mention it. I don't have a picture up, but Renew is through 4 different pathways. We naturally raise human growth hormone in the body, the longevity hormone of both male and female. It has to be present for all cellular regeneration. There is a book written by Dr. Stephen Colbert. He's an endocrinologist out of Orlando, Florida, known as one of the best in the world. And he has a whole chapter devoted that if women can bring up and optimize their human growth hormone levels for their age, in return, it will help optimize their progesterone and estrogen. As a matter of fact, I have an OBGYN in our business that has put 215 new customers in already this month. And she doesn't deliver babies anymore. She only sees menopausal women because she's seen the results with these products. But would you mind, Michele, when you combine the drops and the Renewed together, you mentioned you like better lean muscle mass, more mental clarity. What else went on in your body?
Yeah, just the cellular rejuvenation, Todd, as you know. I mean, just with the workouts and playing a lot of tennis, and now I've added pickleball to my portfolio of sports. And so you just need that regeneration. And I actually tested it. So when, I'm assuming my human growth hormone was negative when I first started. It's up to 3.9, and that was over a year ago. Now I haven't tested it lately. I take it twice a day, and so my sister, who is a lab director, says that's teenage level. And so I believe my hair, my skin, my nails, everything about just my vitality is so much better in my life. And you see it with this product. So this will be a product, this and the drops, because of the hormone balance, I may never get off of those 2 products.
So again, you can buy these products retail. All we are here are virtual nutrition stores. And we buy wholesale and we sell retail. And the difference is the profit, just like any store that exists in the world. What we want to offer to you today is to stop paying retail and join us with your own virtual nutrition store. And all that is $29.95 one time. If you're watching from Canada, it'll be $37.95 Canadian dollars. That will get you all of your tools. And, Michele, comparing that to opening up your hospice care center, like what's the difference there in the upfront money that was involved?
Wow. I mean, it's hard to even remember now, Todd, but my outlay monthly, with salary and everything was, well over 100, 200,000. with rent and pharmaceuticals for a hospice patient, is I remember paying 20,000 a month at some points, because we had 3 offices. So the overlay, the outlay, the overhead, is so much higher in a traditional business. Your overhead here in this business, you only pay $29.95 for a virtual, $29.95 one time. I can't tell you, with all the licensure that was required for a hospice, now it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started. This is unheard of, to start a global virtual franchise at less than $30. That
One last question for you, Michelle, because you live in a really small town in Mississippi. So here
Yeah.
in the United States, if you're watching this globally, Mississippi is one of our least populated states here. But you didn't stick out and just hang out in your small town of 20,000 people. You've got business now in how many countries?
Oh, 3 or 4 countries. We are focused mostly in the US and Canada for my team right now. But of course, we're growing in Japan and Australia, and we have sites on China and Korea. But we're in over 50 countries, you guys. So you have an opportunity to be in every single country.
Okay, so once you buy your business, you've got to qualify it with 200 points of product. You just got to get inventory that you're going to now sell through your virtual nutrition store and start creating your retail profit. And Michelle, there's 3 different ways or 4 different ways you could really start, but 3 we're going to talk about today. So with the activated position at 200 points qualifies you here to start creating income, but we want everybody as quickly as possible to get to what we call top pay. And that means you move 1,500 points of product through your business in the first 4 weeks. And Michelle, do you want to walk them through? And by the way, we're going to show you how to do this with the body balance drops, where you can create a free business and a profitable business really within just a couple of days. We provide the entire system to do it. As long as you're not scared to use your social media and hop on a Zoom, we'll teach you how to do that too. If you don't, you're going to have somebody sit right down with you and show you everything. Download the app we use, upload all of our system into it, and show you exactly how to do it. But do you want to walk them through the 3
Yes.
different ways to start with the body balance and drops?
Yes. And I will say, Todd, let me say, in case there's anybody on here that has been in another company, and it doesn't matter if you've been in direct sales or not, the biggest key to influencing somebody that's in another company is our system. This is how I got these leaders, Sheila Bukowski and Haley Lee. They would never have been interested in another company had it not been for our simple system of growth. And having that system has changed a lot of people's lives. So therefore, we get to help people who may have never been involved in a direct sales company, maybe just coming in wanting some extra money. We can help everyone win. And that is our goal.
Since you're on that system, why don't you just walk them through boards real quick, and then we'll go back and show them the 3 ways to start.
Absolutely. So boards is amazing. We wish that all companies would have known about this. Probably everybody that ended up closing as a direct sales company would have succeeded had they had this, had they had a simple system to share with everybody. You download boards straight from your app store. So it's like a plug and play system. So it's going to help you not only follow up with your customers, but it also helps you with a posting system. So we give you all the text scripts, we give you all the posts, everything you need to get started. So there's never going to be a time where you go, what do I do next? Everything is mapped out for you, the strategy of how to start. And we start everybody on a 7-day launch. And so it makes it to where it's simple and that anybody can do it. You guys, we say on boards, we can teach our 8-year-olds can probably teach us how to use it, right? But that's the key, is a simple system of growth. But with this 4-pack, you guys, we tell everybody from a clinical standpoint. I've been a nurse for 39 years. We all know that you're not going to see cellular changes in your body in less than 90 days. If you do, it's amazing. That's a benefit. I did, but most people are not going to see them for 90 days. Okay. I lost 5 pounds and 3 pounds and 5 inches in 6 weeks for a person who really didn't need a whole lot, but it just shows you're going to lose it where you need if you follow the system. But because you need 90 days, this is an amazing pack. So why would you, and it's like Todd said in the very beginning, why would you spend $160, $170 or $200 on a box of drops when you can get 4 for $371? So that gets the price down to about $100 a box. But if you buy a 10 pack, that gets them down to $95 a box. And I'm talking with tax and shipping, so it gets it down lower without tax and shipping. But with tax and shipping, a 30 pack gets it down to what? About $82 a box. Okay, so the more you buy, the more you're going to save, but the more you're going to profit. So some folks are selling at $167 a box, so that's going to profit you $27.60 for a 30 pack. It's a no-brainer. Why would most people are not, if you give them an option of $160 to $200 retail versus the wholesale option, 99% of the people are going to take the wholesale option.
Yeah. And as we conclude this, Michele, the retail side of this business is, it's traditional business. Everybody understands that pretty clearly. But this is the part that sometimes confuses people because most people have never had the ability to franchise their business out before. They're either a small business owner or they work for one. This actually gives you a chance to be the corporation, and you can bring other virtual franchise owners around the world onto your team and help that team grow out selling and get override commissions as they sell. And that begins to create over time a residual income, meaning you're now at some point going to start creating income even when you're not showing up to work. And when you start doing that, the company going to pay you 8 different ways. One of those ways is unlimited 15% on every group of business that you build, except for the biggest. You're paid in that area too, but every leg of business, you're paid in that area too. As a matter of fact, you can actually create wealth here with only one leg. But when you start creating this 15% unlimited, what we call base pay, when you start making more than $250 a week, they're going to start matching 15% into a savings account, or if you're from the traditional world, like a 401k, 15% match. And you're going to see it start growing. And when that hits 10,000, they're going to release an extra $10,000 to you that Friday. And then from that point forward, you're going to get that extra 15% once a month, every fourth Friday. So Michele, you've gotten yours, and now you're getting that extra $2,000 every fourth Friday.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
This part we love. So Sharon, this was another attraction to some of my folks that came from another company. So if we're trying to attract people from other companies, this is it. The 8 ways to get paid. But, a lot of companies have a car program, and then we call that, it's basically a debt program. But the savings program we love because we can show people how to start getting ownership into this savings bonus because the company starts matching it. Once you hit $250 in base commissions, and we can get people there within weeks doing that. And then the company's going to match that $250. So your first deposit into your savings bonus is over $37. But by the time you keep working it, I earned mine within 5 months. By the time you get into the system, really, and it really duplicating, then you're hitting your savings bonus at 500. So if you hit 500 every week, 2,000 a month, you're going to hit your $10,000 savings bonus pretty quickly. So we love showing folks how they can earn this savings bonus. It is one of my most favorite ways of helping people earn in this business.
And then we'll conclude by just sharing, as you start building this extra income into your life, you can also win 2 free trips a year with the company. And Michele, I think you've won a trip twice a year, both years you've been with us.
Yes.
But maybe more important now, you've got a team of people winning these trips. It's pretty amazing
Yes.
when you've got team members
Yes.
that signed up to take a box of drops that are now traveling to Bali and Dominican Republic with you.
Absolutely. And Todd, what I want to say to anybody out there that's an entrepreneur, but that's in the traditional business sector, for me owning a hospice, let me just give you a comparison. Okay, so I gave you comparison of the overhead. When I sold my hospice, I don't mind telling you, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that I made millions of dollars when I sold my hospice, okay? But it took 10 years, okay? 10 years of hard work. And I didn't have the opportunity to franchise out. Now I did have 3 offices, but that was me and my team, taking care of those 3 offices. But if that took me 10 years in this business, I replaced a multiple 6-figure income in just about 4 months, 6 months. Now it became more and more and throughout the year. So that was just a percentage in 1 year of what took me 10 years to make, right? So you guys can truly become a 7-figure earner if that's your goal. But if, let's just say, 6-figure earner, our senior officers here are making over 6 figures and they're getting there within months. So this is the place to be, no doubt. I have no doubt God landed me here for a reason, not only to change my life, but now to impact billions of lives with the products, but also whoever joins our team, we know we can help them win, no doubt.
And as we end, Michele, you and I are a classic example of polar opposites when approached about this business. You were a highly successful businesswoman, making really good money, sold a company for millions of dollars. You're already successful, and this type of business attracted you. You saw the value of the residual income, the no capital needed, the residual income, building a team around the world. For me, I was a broke football coach living slightly below paycheck to paycheck, just looking for a couple $100 extra in my life to keep from starving to death. And we both were attracted, and we both used this model to change our lives for the better. So everybody like you or me or anybody in between us can go and do the exact same thing. So I'll let you call everybody to action here.
Hey, whoever brought you on this call, you need to take a look at this. I mean, there is no doubt. Don't ever prejudge who's going to look at this, because it took me a year to reach out to those that I really, really loved and wanted them in this business, but they ended up reaching out to me. Okay. So our system of growth is going to set you up to where people will reach out to you. But I tell you, if you are looking for an opportunity to change your life, and hey, let's just be real, $400 a month can get somebody out of bankruptcy, right? Our folks are making $400 a week within a matter of weeks when we teach them how to do this simple system of growth. So for me, it's a no-brainer. God put you here for a reason, and you need to take a look at PartnerCo because it can truly change your life.